is TW Wrestling Talk here with a different kind of edition here of the program. By request by a fellow subscriber. If you're watching, you know who you are. I'm gonna decide to do a WWE Summerslam 2012 prediction video. Before to lead up into the pay-per-view. So what I'll do here. I'll go through each match and basically give my prediction on who's gonna win, and why, what the circumstances are, why I think they'll win. No surprises there. Pretty straightforward. Without further ado, let's get it going here. The pre-show is Antonio Cesaro against Santino Marella for the United States Championship. I'm pretty sure here that Cesaro is going to pick up the win here. Santino, his reign as United States Champion, it's been, he's kind of been coasting along, really, as a champion. Really, I think he's just been keeping the title warm for a new star like Cesaro to come along and take it from him, and I think that's what they're going to do. I mean, they've been making Cesaro look pretty good in recent weeks, and I think they're going to give him the belt. Santino's kind of had it for a while and hasn't really had much of a reign. Again, I think he's just been keeping it warm for someone to come around along like Cesaro and win it, and kind of make himself, at least assert himself in the mid card, out of the jobber stage. Kind of launch him right into the mid card and see how he can do with some more credible opponents. So taking Cesaro on that one. Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho. This should be a decent match. Technically speaking, it might be the best, wrestling technical match, I guess, however you want to put it, of the night. But anyway, I see Chris Jericho winning this match, simply because they keep saying how he can't win the big one. The other night in SmackDown, Michael Cole pointed out how he's just lost like every pay-per-view since he's returned, or whatever. And Dolph Ziggler, I mean, he's coming off of his Money in the Bank briefcase win. He doesn't, this isn't a match he needs to win, certainly. Whereas, Chris Jericho, he's going to be going away, touring. We don't know when we'll see him again. Maybe in a few months, but I think they, kind of want to send him off on a good note for now. So, they just turned him face. They brought back the whole Y2J thing, and I think he'll pick up the win for that. Again, this isn't a match that Ziggler needs, especially he just came off winning Money in the Bank, and in the coming months, or perhaps maybe even weeks, he's bound to cash in and become World Heavyweight Champion. So, it's a good match for Ziggler to be in, but he doesn't have to win it. It's as simple as that. They have possibilities here. Like if Ziggler loses, maybe it gives him a reason to drop Vicky as his manager. Something could happen there. So I just think there's just too many reasons, I think, too many outs for Ziggler to lose this match. Certainly, it should, he'll look good. I think he'll come close, to beating Chris Jericho. He may come very close, but I think Jericho's going to kind of redeem himself here and kind of put an end to his pay-per-view losing streak that has been surrounding him, especially in recent weeks. So taking Chris Jericho on that note. Daniel Bryan versus Kane. Daniel Bryan is also another guy who's been on a fairly large losing streak at pay-per-views. I see him losing once again. I see Kane as the winner here, simply because if Daniel Bryan wins, it kind of gives him more reason to kind of start chanting yes again. And they just lately Daniel Bryan's been quite frustrated. They just recently did they switch this whole yes chanting to no chanting. Right now, they're kind of making Daniel Bryan not a joke like Santino Marella, but they're kind of poking some fun at him, especially the fans who chant yes in his face, and he chants no, and it's if he won against Kane, I think it would just kind of make the whole no chant, the whole no chanting pointless. Eventually, I hope maybe when he's in the title picture again or something, he'll start chanting yes again. But I think it's too soon for him to drop the no chanting and this whole anger management thing. I think this is a transitional time for Daniel Bryan now that he's out of the title picture for the foreseeable future. We'll see. They might have him face several different opponents like Kane before he gets back in the title picture. Maybe we'll see a rematch with Kane in the future. Maybe they'll stretch this out a little bit, but I see Kane winning, for the reasons I mentioned already. Daniel Bryan is definitely good. Is a good talent, and I'm sure for now they're kind of they're not pushing him too hard, but down the road, I'm sure his push will be revived down the road. And again, I just see Kane winning this one. Then we got the Tag Team Championships. R-Truth and Kofi Kingston against the Primetime Players. I think because the WWE is a little bit slow to change titles, change hands of titles lately. I think them changing the United States title, that might be all they do as far as title changes. This match I'm not totally sure about. Maybe the Primetime Players will win it, but I'm going with R-Truth and Kofi Kingston, just because I'm not quite sure that the Primetime Players are quite ready yet for the tag team. For a tag team, for tag team champions, R-Truth and Kofi Kingston, I think are pretty solid as a tag team. Both of those guys have been, they've already, been pushed, close, maybe as far as the upper mid card. They've both held, Intercontinental Championship level titles, and so whereas the Primetime Players, I think it's going to take a little more time for them. Maybe next month, maybe they'll get the tag team championships, but I just don't quite think they're ready yet. And with the pay-per-view here, that could potentially see some. Could see a big heel win, which I'll get to later. I think there's going to be a lot of faces that win in this pay-per-view. Because there's usually a balance. You're not going to see all these heels, win in one night. That just doesn't really happen. So again, I just see R-Truth and Kofi Kingston win, but I certainly would not be surprised to see the Primetime Players pull it off. just because sometimes WWE they do like to give titles to people pretty quickly sometimes. Antonio Cesaro might be a pretty perfect example of that. Come SummerSlam. And then the Intercontinental Championship, Miz versus Rey Mysterio. Right away, I'm gonna just say I think the Miz is gonna win this, simply because Christian was like a transitional champion for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know why they had that, but with the Miz kind of coming back, making a return, kind of redemption, he's not gonna lose it that quick. And Rey Mysterio is a former, world champion. He's been world champion several times, I think. And he's being demoted to the Intercontinental Championship level. He's been kind of jogging since his return. And this just comes off as a match that's thrown together. And a lot of times when they're just thrown together like this, it's because they need an opponent to make the Miz look stronger. I guess and I think that's what they're gonna do. I mean, the Miz would look pretty good, I guess, winning against Rey Mysterio. And again, he just won the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think this is going to be a flash in the pan title reign for the Miz. I think I think it's having him have a decent Intercontinental Championship reign, I guess, suits him well. Makes him look, I guess, decent without having to push him back into the WWE Championship picture. So I just see the Miz winning. Again, this is just kind of a match that was thrown together, and I think everything just seems to point in the direction that Miz is going to win it. So I'm taking the Miz on that one. We have the World Heavyweight Championship, Sheamus against Del Rio. The only thing I think working against Sheamus, in this match is, his supposed, banged up arm or whatever. But I don't see things going any different. I see Sheamus winning. It seems like every match that he faces Del Rio, leading up to the match, it seems like every match, it's like he has, his arm's banged up or something, because it's as if they have Del Rio do the same thing every time, So and then, maybe he'll be wrapped up or something, but and then it'll be as if, Sheamus's arm really isn't, harmed at all. Maybe they'll say something for the match, like, oh, he's attacking that weak arm, but it's just, I'm hoping, I hope Sheamus wins, and I think he will, just because Del Rio, it seems like, he's keeping the spot warm, he's just filling space, just because they just don't know they don't have anything else better to do, even though I think there's definitely better options than Del Rio being Sheamus' opponent yet again. I just see Sheamus winning, and hopefully after this, as long as Sheamus wins, hopefully Del Rio is, pushed to the mid card, at least where I think he belongs. It's as simple as that. And I think that WWE's intent on making Sheamus like the #1 guy on SmackDown. Orton's especially, he's not doing anything important right now. Surprisingly, they didn't find him in a way to get in the SummerSlam, at least that we know. So, WWE seems to be pretty intent on having Sheamus have a decent reign, I think, as World Heavyweight Champion. And I don't see it ending until Ziggler cashes in, where they could have, a pretty good feud. So, I say Sheamus retains and wins. Then, of course, we have the WWE Championship triple threat match between CM Punk, John Cena, and Big Show. This is a match that could go different directions, and it could have quite a say on, what's to come down the road as far as, who faces The Rock at the Royal Rumble. But I'm taking CM Punk to win this triple threat match. I've said before how I think it would be cool to see Big Show win personally, but I wouldn't mind CM Punk winning. I don't want John Cena to win. Personally, I'm still not ready to see him be WWE champion again. I just think CM Punk will retain. Just because the longer a reign goes on, sometimes the harder it is to really change it. But you never know. They could play the unpredictability game and have Big Show win. He didn't have that big heel turn, earlier this summer for nothing. At least that's the way I see it. Cena, I just don't know. The build-up for this match, it hasn't seemed, important enough. I think it's been a little overshadowed by Brock Lesnar and Triple H, but I don't know. I don't feel like this match is, I just see CM Punk retaining. But I wouldn't be totally surprised if Cena won. I would be pleasantly surprised if Big Show won, but I think CM Punk is going to win, and with him winning, perhaps, he's like the tweener in this match, but perhaps having him win and retain his title is important to having him maybe make this gradual heel turn, because in weeks it has seemed a little like it's slowed up a little bit. They've eased up a little on CM Punk. Maybe they're going to have him gradually turn heel, and I think maybe having him as champion retain would probably help that. But again, I wouldn't mind seeing Big Show win. Cena, I'd prefer he not win. If CM Punk did retain, also maybe they can get a new opponent in there, and perhaps John Cena could, kind of continue the whole Big Show feud that they had going earlier, because I feel like there's unfinished one-on-one business between those guys. If you look back, this is a triple threat match. They had Money in the Bank match, which involved other people. And their steel cage match back at No Way Out, to me, was tainted because it involved like 5 other people, messing with the match. I think they could, they have unfinished one-on-one business to settle. At least that's what I think. I think maybe they should continue that feud. That's what part of me says. Another part of me says, it'd be cool to have Big Show win the WWE Championship, but most likely CM Punk, I think, will retain. I think many would agree with me. Not a very gutsy call on that, but I see CM Punk retaining. That's just the most likely thing I see. And then finally, we have Brock Lesnar against Triple H. I think most people would agree that Brock Lesnar should win this match, and that he will win this match. What exactly happens story-wise, we don't know. I mean, there was tweets about Sean, apparently Sean sent a tweet on Twitter. I don't give a crap about Twitter. I don't follow Twitter. I'm not a big social media guy, really, especially when it comes to wrestling. I'm like, let's watch the show and not worry about all this, Twitter and tout, rubbish. But anyhow, perhaps Sean will be there, though. I mean, there's been rumors that, or possible ideas that maybe Sean will turn on Triple H or something. There's an outside chance, I guess, for that, but, we'll wait and see. As far as the match goes, though, I mean, I think Brock Lesnar should win this match. For him to be 0-2, I mean, I don't totally see that. Unless they wanted to do something like Brock Lesnar disqualifies himself and therefore beats up on Triple H and looks good, but Triple H gets the technical win in the record books. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it's just Brock Lesnar wins clean, and not this phony finish like what happened with Cena. I still am not necessarily. I'm still not over the way that match ended with him and Cena and Lesnar back in Extreme Rules, but maybe this story will in some way continue a little bit. I wish they would have kept the whole lawsuit thing intact, unless somehow it surprisingly comes back out of nowhere, where the stakes could have been really high for this match. Like the company's future could have been in doubt if Brock Lesnar won. But that's not the case. Brock Lesnar, to kind of, he should look, strong coming out of this match. I think he should pick up the win here. Especially if rumors are true that he may face Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. If you have him lose again, then it's like, well, geez, Undertaker, is facing someone who lost to Triple H and Cena, since coming back. Why can't, why won't Undertaker beat him? So, I mean, the point is just, I think, make Brock Lesnar win. Don't make it one-sided, please, WWE. Let Triple H get some momentum in there. Let him get in a pedigree or two, and look like he might beat him, but I say make Brock Lesnar win at the end of it. But I'm looking most forward to this match. Just, two big brawlers, especially Brock Lesnar, powerhouse, the man of the F5, the perfect storm as they're advertising it. Perhaps we'll see some blood again. No guarantee on that, but as of late, Brock's track record is he brings blood to WWE programming. So I mean, this should be probably will be the last match. Going by what what transpired on Raw, probably will be the main event. Regardless that CM Punk says how the show should close with the WWE champion standing tall. I don't think that's, since it's Lesnar, since he's the guy on the poster. I think it's most likely going to be the show closer. Even though Lesnar may win, and it might be like a dark and stormy ending. Some people think that match won't be last for that reason. I think it should close the show, and I think Lesnar should win. I don't care if it if it makes it look like a dark and stormy ending, because it makes things different sometimes. I mean, let's face it. You can't, not every pay-per-view should end with, and they live happily ever after kind of ending. Like John Cena winning Money in the Bank last night. No, but hopefully Lesnar wins, and it could really look interesting, closing the show, with the show closed with Brock Lesnar, beating Triple H and looking strong, making it look like he's turning the WWE upside down, something like that. So I'll just run through again quick. Pre-show, I pick Antonio Cesaro winning the United States Championship from Santino. I see Jericho over Dolph Ziggler. I see Kane over Daniel Bryan. I think R-Truth and Kofi will win, retain their tag team championships. I see Miz retaining. I see Sheamus retaining, winning. I see CM Punk also retaining in his triple threat match. Who he pins, I don't know. Probably not Cena, because we know how that is. Or maybe if he taps someone out in the Anaconda Vice too. But we'll see. Cena rarely gets pinned, but clean. But we'll see. But again, I pick CM Punk winning the match. I don't not picking who he pins exactly. That's not the most important thing. And I pick Brock Lesnar over Triple H. Hopefully in a clean finish. And I also want to throw in a prediction, since it does look like there is a slot open. I'll make a prediction that Ryback comes out and beats somebody in another squash match. Maybe, what's his name? Whoever he's been kind of having a rival, Jinder Mahal, that's right. Even though neither of them were on SmackDown this past week. The fans, given the track record, I think Ryback will be on, and, he'll squash somebody, or two people. So yeah, I'll make that prediction too. It doesn't really count as a match prediction, as a result prediction, but those are my picks. I guess we'll see how I do with this. I do want to note, this past year's WrestleMania I was 7-1 in my picks. I don't mean to blow my own horn, but the only match I got wrong at WrestleMania this past year was the Divas match, and if you wouldn't even call that a match that was worthy of WrestleMania. But yeah, I mean, so 7-1 at WrestleMania, so I tend to do pretty good with my predictions. But I could see me getting a couple wrong here. But we'll see. We'll see how my picks are, my predictions. We'll see what goes down at SummerSlam. The card in general looks pretty good. Several interesting matches. Of course, the Brock Lesnar Triple H one, and next video will be next TW Wrestling Talk will be a review of SummerSlam, and kind of a look back, I guess, at how I do here with my predictions. So stay tuned for that. That will be the next TW Wrestling Talk video. Alright, that'll wrap things up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And please, again, if you ever want to send any questions in, I'll be happy to answer them. Or any suggestions, like such as this prediction, doing SummerSlam predictions. That was a good suggestion. I can't remember using it off the top of my head, but you know who you are if you're watching. And any suggestions like this, I appreciate, and you may go forward with, like this one. So again, stay tuned. Thanks for watching as always, and enjoy SummerSlam.